We're starting a brand new segment today called Either Or. We get one big choice to make, and we'll tell you how we do it. Plus, a bunch of Mammoth are shining at the world. Stay tuned, and we'll tell you who it is on Locked On Mammoth.
You are Locked On Mammoth, your daily podcast on the Utah Mammoth, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again. It's time for the Locked On Mammoth podcast. Thank you so much for making us your first listen each and every single day when it comes to the Utah Mammoth Hockey Club. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño, and together we absolutely love talking all things Mammoth and, in this case, World Championship hockey concerning the Mammoth with you. Plus, we also introduce our Either Or today. I'll present Robyn with a choice first, and then, of course, I get to weigh in as well. And we'll ask you to leave us your comments, your thoughts, either or. What would you do with this question? You know what, Robyn? Something we didn't do, and I'm going to pause for a moment here and look back for just a second, because you and I actually just both hit a couple of podcasting milestones that we keep saying we're going to talk about, and we have not talked about.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't talked about it. I mean, I feel like, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and say we did pass a year since the Locked On quote NHL in Utah began. But with that being the case, that means, Tom, you passed a year, or you're at around a year being part of the Locked On Network, being a part of this show. So that's a huge milestone.
Yep, one trip around the sun with Locked On Utah Hockey Club and now Locked On Mammoth. And Robyn, you have had several trips around the sun with this podcast in many forms.
I mean, yeah, I did. I had my 4-year anniversary in late December, but now earlier last month, I passed 750 episodes with the Locked On Podcast Network.
Unbelievable. Congratulations. That's huge. I don't think people know how much that is.
I saw that number and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I did it, how I'd done that many episodes. And I told someone too, I was like, yeah, I passed about 750 episodes. They're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah.
So when I tell people you are a longtime team analyst, I am not kidding. You've been doing this for a long time. You've seen this. You literally have seen this organization go through 3 ownership changes, untold number of head coaches, GMs.
Yeah, and it goes beyond, when I did the Locked On Coyote show, because for those that are longtime followers of me, I did what we called Desert Dogcast at the time. I was the podcast manager of Five for Howling. I did Inside the Glass, which was my own independent podcast once I graduated from the U of A. Which was all hockey, mainly Arizona hockey. That was, so we're talking 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 years of covering hockey.
That's incredible. And here we are now talking Locked On Mammoth with you. And so, folks, it's kind of funny. We get the AI coaching, right? We get the feedback on how our episodes go every single time. And it sometimes it says, well, you need to do more to establish your credentials. I think that's a pretty solid establishment of credentials, especially for Robyn Leaño. So, Robyn, congratulations.
I mean, yeah. Thank you, and I appreciate it. And to you, congrats on 1 year. It's great to, it's great having you on this as a second voice of this show.
It's been fun. You know what? I enjoy the back and forth more than probably anything else. So that's one of the best parts about it for sure. All right, Robyn, I do have one question for you before we get on to talking about actual hockey and stuff. What kind of cake would you pick if you were going to get a cake to celebrate your achievement?
Ooh, that's a good question. One of the things that I've always loved, and this is one of the things that like I always asked every time my birthday came up, for example, it would always be a German chocolate cake. Something about the rich, like the rich softness of it, kind of like balancing with chocolate, which I love. Like it kind of goes perfect.
So we now know the way to Robyn's heart is chocolate. So that's fantastic. And That's if anybody ever needs to tuck that one away in your notebook, that's a good one. So I'm going to throw you a curveball. Number one, my family always celebrated with the little frozen Pepperidge Farm cakes, and to me, those are just heaven. I love those
Okay.
things. But I'm an ice cream cake person. But I
Ooh,
have a
okay.
specific kind. I've discovered this. There are a couple of different chains across the country. One is Carvel. I prefer their ice cream cake because it's all ice cream. The Baskin Robbins one is ice cream and cake. And that's not my jam, I've discovered. Not my jam. So I like the all ice cream move. So ice cream cake. There you go.
Okay. Love that.
That's kind of fun. If anybody wants to sound off in the comments what you would pick, hey, red velvet fans out there, carrot cake fans, I mean, we're happy to cater to all kinds here. So, all right, Robyn, there's some Mammoth shining at the Worlds, and as a matter of fact, it's still incredible to me. There are 7 players from the Utah Mammoth over
Right.
there, but we have to start with Team USA because the United States, as of this recording, is tied with Czechia for first place in Group B. Czechia's got another game coming up. I think these two, the collision course they are on, they are going to meet, which will be USA's next game, which is a couple of days. Actually, I think it's maybe Tuesday, is Czechia, USA. That could decide the fate of the whole group. And as we well know, there's 4 members on Team USA for the Mammoth and a pretty important goaltender who's doing well for Czechia in net as well.
I know it's just so cool to see. And again, like, and I'm sure for for the Team USA is just seeing that is like a super Utah group, right? You have again, you mentioned 4 players, including, and I'm just going to keep referring to him as Captain America from now on.
I love that
because he has a C where for Team USA and Clayton Keller. So like, hey, you know what? He deserves the title of Captain America for now.
So here's the cool thing. Looking at tournament scoring, not team, but tournament. This is everybody. Clayton Keller, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. Those 8 points tie him for 10th in tournament scoring. So he's doing a great job. But guess who's tied for 15th in tournament scoring? And I'll be honest with you, I don't know necessarily that I thought this was going to happen, but Logan Cooley, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. And Cooley is tied for 15th in tournament scoring. So Logan Cooley is also maybe a little bit of an under the radar coming out party for him. This could really launch him into a great campaign next year.
I mean, everyone who's followed this show, the everydayers, know how my full opinion on Logan Cooley and how I think he years from now when we do a redraft of the 2022 NHL entry draft, Logan Cooley will, like, even though he was drafted at 3, he'll probably move up to like 1 because he has doing some amazing stuff already.
It's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it, to see the impact guys make years down the road. That's why number 4 coming up here, by the way, and I'm not going to segue into draft talk. Believe me, there'll be plenty more of that coming up. But number 4, real chance for the Mammoth to make another big splash one way or the other. But now we're seeing, I mean, Cooley, you said 2022, so this is the 2025 World Championships, just 3 years later, really, a little less than 3 years after he was drafted.
Right, and it's absolutely amazing, right? And it goes to show too. I mean, we've had this was a question that was asked to me on ESPN 700 in Salt Lake City, and they're like, hey, so what are the when are these players they're drafted this early making impacts? And like, very rarely are they making impacts right away. What we're going to see is they're going to they'll kind of develop a little bit over a couple of years, and then they'll have a really huge breaking out party 2, maybe 3 years down the road, and that's what we're seeing in the case of Logan Cooley, where he's he played really well early on too, right? After he left University of Minnesota, he decided he wanted to join the then Arizona Coyotes and now Utah Mammoth. He's been playing phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah, no argument, Robyn, one way or the other. I mean, just have seen him shine and hope it continues. Absolutely hope it continues. But that's just part of Team USA's success. And I want to talk about Veg and the job he's been doing for Czechia, because again, these are the top 2 teams in Group B. And when they face off, I think that it's going to be, honestly, I really do believe that it could determine the seeding. The USA has clinched a quarterfinal berth. Czechia's clinched a quarterfinal berth. We know that these teams are going to be there in the quarters. It's just who are they going to face? And I think this game will go a long way towards that. Well, taking a look at the numbers so far, Veg has played or dressed for 5, played in 3, and is putting up some pretty stellar numbers. A 907 save percentage, a 1.97 goals against average. And I think that, it's such a great thing to see, players go over and shine like that. And so it's just, fantastic for the Mammoth, especially. Here's the other thing. Consider you just handed this guy a big contract. And yes, there is pride in going to play for your nation, but he could have said, you know what, I'm going to take a full summer off. I appreciate the call to represent the country, but no, he went over there, and Robyn, he's played well. He's continued to play, I think, even better. So that to me is a huge sign that were this a playoff run, you can count on this guy to play beyond the NHL regular season and continue to play well.
Right. No, like that really goes to show that. And I think maybe that's, if you look at it in hindsight, maybe that's kind of what Bear was trying to test, right, towards at the end of the season there. And again, you and I have our opinions on how it was handled, but I mean, maybe you were getting the understanding. Maybe that's what he was testing the longevity, see what can you do when the playoffs do come and the games do matter. How much can you step up, and how much and how long? What's your longevity like? Like that really is a real test.
It is. It is. By the way, one thing I wanted to throw in there about Cooley is that Cooley is one of the better faceoff men at the tournament, just outside the top 10, but 61% on draws. So that's pretty solid.
Future 1C Logan Cooley.
What did Tom harp on all of last year? Winning draws, starting with control of the puck. Yeah. Those are all big things.
Logan Cooley. I mean, if you spend enough time in a season with Kevin Stenlund, I'm pretty sure it's going to rub off on all the other centers. So,
man, you hope. I hope so. All right, we've got to get to a break here. We're going to play either or. When we come back, I'm going to drop a big question on Robyn, and then we're both going to weigh in with our opinions on it on the Locked On Mammoth podcast. And today's show is brought to you in part by Monarch Money. You ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Well, between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's actually pretty easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, your investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money, and now you can start building wealth. And that's one of the things I love about it. I don't juggle the multiple apps. I just use Monarch Money. Everything is right in one place. It's in front of me because I'm tracking cards. I'm tracking my bank account, my spending, how's my bill pay going. All that's right in front of you with the all-in-one convenience. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño here with you on the Locked On Mammoth podcast. Thanks for joining us. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up on the YouTube side, too. It helps us with the algorithm, helps you as well. Robyn, I do want to say thank you to all of our brand new subscribers. I know we talk about the everydayers and our long-timers, and we're very thankful for you. You are the bedrock we have built on. But Robyn, this channel is growing right now, and we're very excited for that, and we definitely want to welcome everybody on board and say thank you so much for giving us a chance.
A huge shout out. Yeah, man, a huge chunk of new subscribers coming to us in just the last 2 weeks alone. Since the beginning of this month, since the beginning of May. I mean, we had a lot of things happen and a lot of new subscribers coming in. We really appreciate all you guys for coming in. The everydayers, the new, the newbies, all you guys. You guys are all fantastic.
And if you like it, hey, tell your friends. And you know what? If they're not quite hockey fans yet, that's okay. We love talking to the new fans. We love teaching, and we will always take a moment to teach. Now, sometimes it might be 201, 301, 401 stuff.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're not going to throw it out there.
At this point, that's where, I think that's, where we're at. But no, we don't mind, kind of going back to some basics now. And it was pointed out by some people, we're not out here trying to make assuming everyone's dumb and really dumbing it down for you guys, but we do try to appease to everybody.
I will say this: we may make a point that's kind of highfalutin. That might be a very complex point, but then we're at least going to try to explain it to you, right? So we're never going to leave it dangling out there for you to go, what are they talking about, these guys? All right. So Robyn, either or, this is a new one. We're going to do this a lot over the summer because it's kind of fun. And I am going to give you are now general manager, Robyn Leaño. So Robyn, either or either or, if you prefer, heading into free agency, do you go for the one big fish, or do you spread the money around and sprinkle the infield?
It's interesting because in an offseason like this one, I am going for the big fish because I feel like Utah has grown in ways that the talent's already, we have significant up and down the board. But what I feel like they really do need is a big name player, a high ticket item who is going to kind of give them that push over the edge. Because that's what I feel like they're really close. We're talking next year is pretty much like a playoffs or bust. You want someone who is going to be like a quote guarantee to get you over that hump.
Okay, so pursuant to that, then it sounds to me like you're talking forward. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, I am. I'd be talking, going for a forward, and to me, I don't think it really matters on what side. It can be a winger, it can be a center, or it could be someone who can hybrid on both, because those are extremely valuable. Those who might play wing most of the time, but can easily slot in at center because they can play a really good two-way game, as well as being pretty strong offensively capable.
So, okay, so we're going to target an offensive forward here then, Robyn. So are you looking for a playmaker? Are you looking for a shooter? Are you looking for a power forward? What do you think Utah needs?
It's interesting. That's actually a good question, because based off of what you've heard me say over the last couple of years, Utah they're picking already on, they already have a decent amount of power forwards out there. I don't think we need another power forward. Right? Would it be interesting to see more? Yes. But I think at this point, Utah could really use a solid playmaker. What I love to see is those that is a player who sets things up for all the other ones, because your Clayton, Keller, your Logan, Cooley, your Dylan Gunther, a lot of these guys, I'm specifically like a Dylan Gunther, right? He's a true sniper, right? You get if you have a playmaker who's got the perfect vision, who knows where to find those snipers and get them and find them in the right spot, we're going to see the scoring go up significantly.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to take my swing at the either or question here in just a moment, but that's some interesting thoughts, Robyn. All right, everybody, you're just going to have to stick around and see if I agree with what Robyn said or not.
And today's episode brought to you by Post District. Discover Post District, home to 4 of Salt Lake's newest and most stylish apartment buildings: The Register, Post House North, Post House South, and 801 Flats. Each residence offers its own unique take on luxury urban living, with features like waterfall kitchen islands, floor-to-ceiling windows, vaulted ceilings, and spacious patios and walk-in closets. Enjoy premium amenities, including the city's largest residential gym, a year-round pool, golf simulator, massive TV wall for sports watch parties, and more, all anchored by a one-of-a-kind community. Step outside and find yourself immersed in Salt Lake's hottest dining and nightlife scene, and award-winning spots like Urban Hill, Mancha Ramen, Level Crossing, Melancholy Wine Bar, and Sunday's Best just steps away. Whether you're looking for a studio, 1, 2, 3 bedroom, or a penthouse, find your perfect home today. Visit liveatpost.com or call 801-590-6247. Mention this ad for an exclusive incentive.
All right, back here to wrap it up on Locked On Mammoth. Either or, and please let us know in the comments what you guys think. You know what, Robyn, and I'll bring this up from time to time. Sometimes we get people saying, hey, why do you ask for comments and feedback if it's not a live show? We're trying to engender conversation here. And that's what I love. I love to see when there's a response and then there's a thread after the response and fans discussing it.
Exactly. So many of your fans are discussing amongst each other, and I love that. I think that's a key part of being part of this community, right? Almost makes me want to open up a Discord server for you guys all to really
I was thinking about that. I actually was.
We'll work on it.
Okay. So maybe that's would you use a Discord server? Do you even know what Discord is? I'm sure most of you do. Would you let us know in the comments? Should we do thumbs up, thumbs down? Should we do a Discord server? I mean, that's that could be fun. Robyn, either or, do I get the big fish or do I spread the money around?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, goodness. So I was thinking about a big fish myself. I'm always beating that Mitch Marner drum.
Yeah, right.
If I'm getting a big, I actually want another power forward. If I'm going for the big fish, and I want a 40-60 goal scoring to assist distribution out of that player. But I think Utah needs one more guy but a highly skilled guy who can set up shop in front of the net and just shovel them home, tip pucks, throw screen, all of that. That's what I want to see. I want to see someone who plants their tuchus right in the goal crease and is just so annoying to opposite teams. But so that said, I do have a case to make for sprinkling it around because as I'm looking here, coming up on 25-26, there is money that needs to be spent. Now, Nick Bukestad's 2.1 is going to become available, I'm fairly certain. I would like to see them put some of that money into Jack McBain because I like McBain. I like his game. I like his growth this year. So I think that's some of the money that gets sprinkled around.
You love your power forwards.
I do. I mean, I do. And I think his game evolved. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much.
It really has.
I think he's gotten a lot better. Defensively, Bortuzzo, who we talked about, is a UFA and is probably going to retire here. D. Simone's a UFA. I wouldn't mind putting a little bit towards trying to bring him back in on a two-way deal if it were possible. But right now you've got 6 defensemen signed for this year. However, that doesn't mean that I don't think you could get better on defense. And I mean, you have a really nice 6 with Sergachev, Dursey, Marino, Cole, Mata, and Kesselring as your potential top 6, but you can always improve on that. The other thing that I think that, let's face it, Utah's going to have to make a decision at goal. And again, to talk about Connor Ingram, once a player enters the league assistance program, you don't know what's going on. The team doesn't know because the team has no contact with the player. So I imagine that's to prevent, outside thoughts.
Noise. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just noise from filtering into the player's assistance process, whatever that may be, whatever the needs are. So I totally get that. But Robyn, I am, in my mind, at least, I want to be 100% prepared for the fact that maybe no Connor Ingram. And if that is the case, you need to be ready for that. So I think for Veg, I don't want to see Veg play 80 of 82 games.
No.
I want to see a backup come in. Let's say Veg targets 60 starts, maybe 65 if we're feeling frisky. But
they really manage those back-to-backs mainly, right?
Yeah, who can give me 20 games?
Yeah. And again, like I think we are at a point where it's not really tandem anymore. We are really looking for like a true like someone who's a backup but can step in as like a 1B if needed.
Right, but I think Veg is crown starter now.
100%. It is Veg's team.
Yes.
To hold.
Yes, and that's, I mean, it's kind of interesting. Look, Edmonton's getting it done with a tandem, right? They've gone back and forth from Skinner to Pickard, and they're still moving through the playoffs. I'm not saying it can't be done, but let's face it, Edmonton is not being pulled through by their goaltending.
Right.
Let's be fair. Like, the goaltending's not why they're winning. So to me, I just think it might be safer to sprinkle the money to give you that depth and improve your team. I'm not opposed to the big fish. I'm not. And I would love to see it. I just feel like if you fortified yourself and improved yourself, if you got better on your 5-6 deep pair, or even your 3-4 and it bumped a guy down to 5-6, that's fine. If you found a solid veteran NHL backup, if you don't like either one of the two guys you had this year, that's fine. I just want to see more fortification there. And yes, I do want to see Utah able to bang more bodies around up front.
I will say this: the most fun thing I've seen is just seeing a lot of the hypotheticals in our comments, right? Of between free agency and trade of this offseason where Utah lands Tage Thompson as well as Mitch Marner.
Oh my goodness. If they got me being a former long-suffering Sabres fan, I do still follow the team. I watch the team. Tage Thompson is a generational talent. I think the Sabres already screwed up by dealing Dylan Cousins. And not that Josh Norris is a terrible player. He's just not healthy. So I think Buffalo got the worst end of that trade. I think they can be fleeced again. I think Tage Thompson could be had for a price, of course. But I would absolutely swing at Tage Thompson. Oh, yeah. In a second. In a second. Bring me Tage Thompson. I would love that. He would check every box I could possibly have. So, yeah, that's fine. I'll take Tage Thompson.
We'll do an episode sometime this offseason on what it will take to get players like them.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. We're going to look into each and every one of them, too. We'll see who's available, what it might take to get them, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So, all right, Robyn. So it looks like we're going to go opposite ways. I'm going to spread the money. You're going to go for the big fish, but that's okay. That's the way we're talking about it here. So, what would you do? Let us know in the comments, and we will look forward to talking to you guys again. You can also reach us on social media. Robyn, we have all our new handles in place now. Tell folks.
Yeah, just about everywhere on across the social media board at Locked On Mammoth. You can follow us there. That's Twitter. That's Instagram, Threads, on Blue Sky. All of that. All of the above. You can find me at Robyn_Leaño on Twitter/X and at Robyn Icetime on Blue Sky.
And I am at Tom Talks on Blue Sky and at Callahan on Air over on the Twitter sphere. And we appreciate each and every one of you hanging out and being a part of the show with us, and looking forward to bringing you another great week right here on Locked On Mammoth.